So finally, AeroPress has made a non-plastic version of their very, very popular coffee maker. Now, this is the original one, the plastic one, and I've been using it for about a couple of years, and I have to say this is my favorite way to make a morning coffee. It's just really, really easy to make. I love the fact that I can dispense the coffee beans into my garbage really, really fast. I've tried so many different types of coffee makers, like your classic brewers from Walmart, Clever Dripper, Hario Switch, Mocha Pot, French Press, all these different types of coffee making techniques. And I just kept coming back to the AeroPress because it's just so simple, minimalistic, and I love the fact that I can get a really smooth, nice tasting coffee for a single cup. Now, unfortunately, there has been a major trend or a major surge of concern for use of plastic when it comes to food. This is a little bit concerning because you are pouring every day, depending on how many times you use this, hot water into this plastic. And I've noticed that it started to degrade. I see like little bits coming out, and it does seem like little microplastics can easily leak or leach onto my coffee, and I can drink that. There's been a lot of social media talk about this, and it's quite concerning, to be honest. So I'm really glad that they finally created a glass, aluminum, stainless steel version of this type of coffee maker. In fact, I was so concerned with the usage of plastic for my daily coffee making that I had to replace my beloved Bodum kettle, which I reviewed on this channel. I ended up replacing it with a generic stainless steel one that I bought on Amazon. Now, if you're an expert in endocrinology, plastic, and how it interferes with the human body system, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm hoping that all my years of using this plastic has not impacted my health in the long term. I'm praying that this is not like cigarettes like it was in the 1950s. Anyways, enough about the plastic. Let's focus on this premium AeroPress. Now, unfortunately, it is not all rosy glasses from here on out. There are some trade-offs that you're gonna make by moving to this type of thing. First of all, this is very, very expensive, and it's also very, very heavy. Immediately when I held this versus this one over here, this feels like a tank. And it does feel a little bit more brittle because it's made of glass. Now, I like the double walled construction. I like that everything keeps my coffee really warm. In fact, the filter can get really hot. So overall, it's just not as nice to use as the plastic version. I love the plastic version because I can throw it around. I don't really have to worry about caring for it as much, although, you know, it potentially is very toxic. Who knows? I have no idea. Another downside is that they don't include nice bonus accessories. They're really cheaping out, and then the cost of this is extremely expensive. But this was an impulse buy, and I bought it with a coupon code. So, I mean, I needed to improve my health. So anyways, you don't get a funnel, which I find this funnel to be immensely helpful. Even though it's made of plastic, I'm still going to use it because I love using it to pour coffee into my jars. For example, I like to put it here and then just pour coffee. It just really saves all the beans from falling out and stuff like that. So I really wish they would include that, but this would be really, really heavy. Maybe made of stainless steel would be very heavy to ship. So my original plastic AeroPress shipped with a lot more filters than the one that comes with the premium one. But anyways, it's not a big deal because I typically prefer to use the unbleached brown filters that are the official ones. I'm hoping that they are more healthy for you. So another accessory that you would typically get with your original plastic AeroPress is a holder for all your filters. It also acted as a stand, which was really nice because it kept your AeroPress clean and really tidy. This is all probably due to saving on cost, keeping those margins as big as possible. Now, AeroPress does sell a separate stand, but that's really expensive, so I can't afford that. So I will unfortunately have to use this. I can still use it by plopping this on top of here. Now, thankfully, they do include a stir, and it's also very heavy duty. It's like unnecessarily thick and heavy. I wish it was actually a lot lighter. I don't think this stainless steel needs to be that thick. I just think it's a little bit excessive. And then same for this one here. This thing, you could really hurt someone by throwing this at their face. This thing is extremely heavy, and it does get hot, which is a little bit annoying. And then this thing here too, the plunger itself is also really, really heavy. So everything is just really heavy. I kind of wish they would just make a lighter stainless steel version. I don't think they have to make it ultra heavy. It just really does give it that more premium type of look though, and feel. Now I do really admire the clear double walled glass. It does keep your coffee really warm, and it's really nice experience to see your coffee kind of just mix and all that stuff. Now AeroPress does sell a Tritan clear version of this, and I believe Tritan, according to some of my research, is perhaps a little bit more healthier than this type of plastic. I'm not really sure. Let me know in the comment section if you're an expert, but perhaps you might want to compromise and get that version if you want something that is potentially a little bit better and clear than this really heavy glass. Now, one of the funny things about these AeroPresses is that they look like science experiments. They look like you have scientific tools, chemistry tools in your kitchen to make coffee. It just looks kind of comical for someone who's not aware of what this is. Anyways, I digress. So my biggest gripe with this, aside from all the other things I mentioned, like the very expensive price, the fact that this is quite heavy and a little bit more cumbersome to use than the plastic version, and that they don't include things like the stainless steel funnel and of course a nice stand. The only thing I really pisses me off about using this is when I go to eject my coffee beans and I pop it out, it seems though that the paper filter gets really stuck with a lot of beans, leftover beans. Whereas with the plastic version, before you eject the beans into the garbage, you could easily remove the paper filter, wash it, and then save it and then let it dry and then use it for the next time. Honestly, I use the same filter maybe 5 to 6 times, and that saves you a lot of money over time. I'm trying to save money here. This stuff is really expensive. So that is one huge, big downgrade from this type of experience, the plastic version. I just can't believe they engineered it in such a way that you can't easily remove the paper filter without a bunch of coffee beans sticking to it. Now you could still get away and try and clean it out, but you're gonna have a lot of coffee beans go down the drain, and that could clog up your drain in the long term. So it's a little bit concerning. So I don't know if that was AeroPress's engineering to make you so that you can't reuse the filters and they want you to buy more filters over the long haul. And I think I found the root cause as to why the beans get stuck to the filter and thus making it very difficult to remove the filter. What I noticed is that with the premium AeroPress, if you press all the way down, it doesn't really kind of compress the beans. It does compress the bottom bit, but there's always a top portion of the beans that will stick to the paper. Unlike the plastic version that really compresses the beans all the way as you push the plunger down. And this causes the beans to kind of all be compacted together so that when you pop it out, it's really easy to eject all the beans and have a clean removal of the filter. So this is a really sad engineering decision on their part to not make it like this. I'm not sure why it's like this, but it really has made the experience of making coffee every morning just a little bit more annoying. It's not a deal breaker because I really do appreciate the premium glass. So despite all the cons I mentioned, I still think that this is the best way to make coffee for a single person. I've tried so many different other ways like the Hario switch and the clever dripper. The clever dripper was terrible because it was made of plastic and I didn't like the fact that it just seemed very unsanitary. And then the Hario switch is just an awful experience because your coffee would get really cold as you wait for it to drain. And the filters are so big and inefficient, and they're very expensive to use over the long haul because you have to throw them out. You can't save those filters. And of course with this, you could buy the stainless steel filter and perhaps use that, but I've heard the reviews are terrible for it because they are not as fine as a paper filter. When you pour your water into the actual tube, water will start leaking and then it's really hard to get a good brew out of that. Let me know in the comment section down below if you end up getting a stainless steel filter to be more sustainable and save money in the long term without having to rely on paper filters. Well, I actually went out and bought their overpriced stainless steel filter. I can't believe I paid 20 bucks for a little piece of metal. Anyway, I like that it's stainless steel and it seems more healthy in the long term and more sustainable because you're not wasting filters. And what I'm going to be doing is pairing it with a filter so that when I eject the beans, I can easily remove the filter and not have any beans stuck to it. And then I'll have to deal with the mess on the actual stainless steel filter. It's a little bit annoying, but this allows me to reuse my paper filters as many times as possible. Anyways, that's it for my review of the AeroPress. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.